everyone. Thank you for listening to Living in the Question. This is Sadie.
This is Elena.
I'm Jessie.
And we just wanted to preface this episode and just say a little bit about what we talked about. We talked about living in the question and what it means to live in the question and how important it is to be open to all possibilities and to not have answers.
Mm-hmm.
We also kind of touch on synchronicities because we had a really intense synchronicity happen in real time at the end. So listen to the end. Yeah, stay tuned. You'll
Listen to the whole thing.
Yeah.
And then we talk a little bit about religion and just our own religious backgrounds. And we also mentioned that we live in Utah. We haven't mentioned that yet, but we do live in Utah.
Yeah. I don't have anything else to add. I'm too freaking exhausted.
Yeah.
Jesse's extra tired
You guys
tonight.
take it away.
At the beginning, too, we also just talk a little bit about what we've been going through and just kind of do a little weekly catch-up with each other. And we're just really grateful that you are here and listening to our podcast. And we really hope that you get something out of this episode.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
How have you been? Hello.
Hello.
How have you been, Elena?
I've been good.
I kind of just wanted to talk about how we've all been.
Mm-hmm.
I guess we kind
haven't
of
seen
did
each
before,
other a little
but
bit.
yeah, we didn't
Before
meet
a little
together
bit.
last week, so it's been a second.
Feels like it's been way longer than a week.
Yeah. Did you feel like good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Everything's been good? How's it been going with your training and stuff?
Oh, fun. It's getting so much easier. And
Yeah?
It's just weird. Like, I can already see myself as if I'm looking back from my future, if that makes
Mhm.
sense. Like,
Right.
I already feel
You
that...
see your future self?
No,
Or,
I
wait,
see my
other way around.
present self from my future self just because I know I'm, like, in alignment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I already, like...
You feel like it's gonna happen.
Yeah, I already know it is. So
Yeah.
I'm kind of like, I already know these are the steps to take. Like, instead of being focused on getting from A to Z, it's like you got to make it to B first, then you got to get to C, then you got to get to D, you know, and focusing on, like, the little tiny baby steps.
Yep.
And then knowing that all of them are essential, as uncomfortable as they are, which they have been. Like, going from A to B my first day, I wanted to cry.
Yeah.
I was so embarrassed. And I know everybody else that was there training too felt the same way, but, like, I don't know. It's just gotten, like, progressively better, and now it's getting, like, closer, and pretty soon I'm going to be shadowing in the camps, and then it's going to turn into, like, me doing a warm-up for the camp, and then it's going to turn into me training the camp, and
So
it's just...
did you get like a job at a certain location?
So I'm going to be working in Orem.
Yay!
Yeah.
Is
That's
that the
like-
one you wanted? Or you
I don't even care. Like, I just want to do this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
You're like, wherever will take me.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
open for AF, which isn't open yet, or Orem, and so that's where I'm going to be, is Orem, which is
yeah.
closer to Springville anyway.
I was just gonna say that. It's a little closer to your house, so that's good.
It's nerve-wracking because it's going to be hard to go from being, like, a member to a trainer when I've worked out alongside all these people for so long.
Yeah.
You know? That's kind
Yeah.
of a weird step.
It's not
but
like you're their manager or something, though, right? Like,
True.
as a trainer, you are kind of like more like their friend.
Yes.
Yeah.
I
Just
can
getting
go
them
into
hyped
it,
up.
like,
Mhm.
having, like, an idea of what I know they're all capable of and just kind of push them that way.
Yeah.
That's how I appreciate being pushed, so I'm, like, way excited about it.
Yay.
Like, yeah.
I'm excited
And stuff.
for
And
you.
every time I pull a tarot, it's always something about, like, change, or my numerology things that are happening. It's always about embracing change and stepping in and not running, and that's what I'm doing.
You seem like you're doing really good.
Yeah. I'm so excited for you, though. It
I'm
makes me
freaking
excited. You've been talking about doing this for a long time.
I know, and, like,
And it's
I'm
happening.
jealous, honestly.
Yeah, like, it's happening.
I would
and
love to do that.
Yeah.
I don't even know, like, exactly what's gonna happen, but I already know that
It's called like Burnout Boot Camp. What is it called?
Burn Boot Camp.
Okay, so since it's like boot camp, do they make you scream at everyone?
Like the army.
like,
Get on the ground!
Dude, some of the like fitness places really are like that. Like if it's like a boot camp workout, the
Yeah.
instructor's like
Like
kinda-
really intense.
Yeah, they have to be like that. That's the style
Yeah.
of it.
No, they're like a 7 out of 10 on the intense scale.
Okay.
But I mean, there's one trainer for like sometimes 40 people.
Yeah.
But the thing is, everybody's doing the same workout, so you're kind of just like pushing the people alongside of you while they push you.
Mhm.
And like, And me, like, for myself, I'm really competitive. So if
Yeah.
I see that someone's beating me, I have to, like, keep up. You
Yeah.
know,
Well,
like, it's
like
pathetic.
with
but-
fitness
No, it
stuff
helps.
too, you feel
Yeah.
like kind of embarrassed almost. I think if you're like, oh, I can't do like 3 push-ups or whatever, so you want to like try to show that you're not weak.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh, I've
That's how I
definitely
feel.
gotten caught there. Like,
Mhm.
it's, I mean, you have to get over that ego trip, you know?
Mhm.
But it's like every single person there is at such a different fitness level.
Yeah.
And such different, like, there's moms, there's men, there's young single 18-year-old girls, there's
Yeah.
like 60-year-old women, there's just like, people are bringing their dads, and it's just fun. Like, it's a good environment.
Yeah.
So, if you guys live in Utah County, or, I mean, even Salt Lake County now, they have one in Harriman, they have one in Highland that's opening in February, they have one in Orem, and AF is opening, and
I need
South
to come
Jordan.
sign up.
do it.
I need to come sign up.
Just come freaking try
Can you
it.
do one class?
Yes.
Or do you have to do a membership?
Well, you can come and do one class to see if you like it, and then,
And then you have to do a membership.
but it's fun. Like, if you like being pushed hard and lifting
Mhm.
weights and, like, group settings,
Yeah.
it's for you.
I've
come
just
try it.
been like doing yoga for a while, and like everyone, of course I don't do it every day. I should, but I don't do much physical exercise. I'm also on my feet all day at work,
Yeah.
so it feels like that is just a lot, you know?
Oh,
Yeah.
But
That's how
I miss
feel.
lifting weights. Like, I love doing yoga and stretching, but I miss, like, the weight training. There's something about feeling your muscles expand
Yeah.
like that is, like,
Well,
addicting.
Yes.
And it feels so good to be sore and know you did something, you know?
Oh my gosh.
It's a different feeling when you're like intentionally like
Right.
exercising, because like I have always, all of my jobs, I'm always like on my feet all day too, or walking like a ton, but it's different than
Yeah.
working out.
Yeah, it totally is.
It's a release.
Mhm.
Like, it's
Oh, yeah.
it's a release. It releases tension, but it also releases, like, endorphins in your brain.
Mm-hmm.
So you just leave feeling good, and then all day I'm like, oh, I did that today, and I just
Yeah.
can breathe better, and I hold myself better, and I just feel
For
good.
sure, right?
Yeah.
It's almost like making your bed in the morning, like
Yeah.
that whole thing, you know.
Oh, yeah.
If you do that, like
Set your day up
accomplish
right.
one thing or whatever, yeah, it just
Mhm.
makes you feel better
Yeah.
about yourself.
That's exactly how it is for me,
Mm-hmm.
and for everyone.
Right.
But it's hard to, like, find time, because getting there is hard even for me. Like, if I skip, like, a day, if I don't go tomorrow, Monday, let's say,
Mhm.
it's gonna be way hard for me to go Tuesday,
Ugh,
just
so
because
true.
the thought of, like,
Yeah.
oh my god, I gotta go there and, like, lift, and I'm
Mhm.
tired, and but it's just really because I just skipped 2 full days, and now I'm, like, dragging, so it's like,
Mhm.
it's so weird.
That's the resistance.
Yeah, the second I get there, though, I'm like, oh, this is why I come. Literally 2 minutes in, this is why I come.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
yeah, I'm back.
You're always
I'll
grateful
be back
too.
tomorrow.
You never leave being like, damn, I shouldn't have done
No.
No.
that. Ever.
Ever. We all know this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we self-sabotage.
Mm-hmm. It's a real thing. Yep.
Yep.
Well, shoot.
Well, I'm glad you're feeling good.
Yeah.
Are you guys doing good?
Yeah.
I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm
How's
just
everything?
tired. I
you
don't
are?
know. Yeah.
I think
I'm
the
so
weather
tired.
is making everybody freaking
Yeah.
tired. This freaking gloomy that it's been.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yesterday was sunny, and I went to my mom's, and she was overly happy, and she was like, "The sun is
Yeah.
shining."
I
You're
think
like, "Are
it's
you
been
okay?"
nice. Like the past 2 days, it's been so nice.
Yeah.
I walked my dog this morning and yesterday morning, and I was like, oh, it feels so good.
To
Like
be
it
outside.
was like cold, but it was fine. You
Yeah.
know, like as long as you're in the sun,
right.
You can
it
feel
feels
the
good
sun
to
warming
have like
your
the
skin.
sun on you. Yeah.
Have we
I,
even
like,
talked
miss
about
that.
that we're in Utah?
Probably not.
Let's tell all of our listeners
Well,
now. The 4th
yeah,
episode
probably
in. Maybe the 5th, actually.
Who
but,
knows when this will come out?
Yeah, who really knows? But yeah, we are in Utah.
Yeah.
In good old Utah County, at least
We're
I
all
am.
polygamists, and we're all Mormons, and we're all
Oh,
We're all
what's the
sister
other
wives.
stereotype?
We're all sister
Sister
wives.
wives. I don't remember like
we have
the other
horns too,
stereotypes.
just in case everyone was wondering.
We have what?
Mormon
horns. People
Horns?
say that Mormons have horns.
Wait,
That's like
what?
a thing that people think. Is that we
What do you
have
mean?
horns. That we
Like
like
on
grow
your head?
horns. Yeah. Is that not so weird?
I've
And
never
have
heard
sister
that.
wives, and like,
Huh?
I've never heard that. But every time I'm like out of state and I say I'm from Utah, everyone's like, "Oh, so are you Mormon?"
Uh-huh.
yeah.
That's the
So
first question
I
you get
usually
asked.
just say like, "Oh, I'm from Salt Lake,"
Mhm.
and then they're not like as annoying about it.
Mhm.
Yeah. Well, just in case nobody caught the vibe that that's not true. We don't have horns.
But we are all married to the same man.
Oh my gosh, could you imagine? Oh my gosh, what kind of life that would be. Oh, that's so wild to think about.
Who
Well,
knows?
shoot.
They love it.
It depends on if you share a house, it'd be so nice to have like a clean house because you'd have
Yeah, that's
3
true.
women going at
You would
it.
have so much more help.
my
That is like
gosh.
the
And
real
with
thing about it. I
kids?
think they do say
Yes.
it's like you have so much more support.
Yeah.
I could see that.
I would love to live in like a compound with a bunch of moms and just help
compound?
everybody like raise their
Yeah.
children
Yes.
and like just everyone help.
Yeah.
Like,
It's
Live
more
the
like a
Mexican
village
way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
what we're in
Exactly.
now.
Because
Yeah.
it totally does take a village to raise kids,
my
and it's
gosh.
like
There's
damn.
a reason why that is a saying. It takes a village to raise a kid.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Because it takes way more than one person
Hell
to
yeah.
keep one kid entertained. Holy
Right.
shit, kids are crazy.
Yeah.
Mhm.
They're the best, but they're crazy.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of work.
So I wanted to ask you how the restaurant's been. Like, how's it
Gosh.
going? Like, you've been running it now for.
Well, we're not like officially running it, but I feel like I'm just taking on a lot more. And it's going good, but I've been honestly so stressed.
Really?
It's mostly just because I'm trying to do like a million things, and once I like learn more and my brothers train more, it's going to be easier. Like it's already gotten a little bit easier, but
Yeah.
it's just been like hard.
Do you feel like you're the type of person that takes on way more than what one person should handle?
Yes.
When it comes to work,
When it comes
Yeah.
to life?
I don't know about with life. Sometimes outside of work, I don't like do a lot because I do so much at work.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like when I worked at H&M, that was like my life, seriously.
Yeah, I remember that.
And then when I met Jose, he like didn't really care about work like at all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And he like inspired me not to care about work so much and just like care
Yeah.
about life more.
Right.
And so it's just kind of annoying, to be honest, because I feel like ever since then I've been trying to get out of that. And that was why I went to school for aesthetics and all of this. And then literally I got my place up and running. And then he's like, yep, we're going to run it. And so now I'm just like, this
He's
is
like, bring
not
the old
like,
Jessie back. For real.
Take on more.
yeah,
Oh,
it's
That's
fine.
funny.
But I do think I'm like, I don't know, I feel so exhausted today.
yeah.
Like driving over here, I was like, I'm so tired. I didn't know I was so tired, but that's also because I didn't sleep enough last night.
Yeah.
But yeah, this week has been better. The restaurant's going good. It's been a little bit slow this week because it was like the first week of January, but I'm just so happy the holidays are over, honestly.
Me
Yeah.
too.
I'm not even like that type of person necessarily to be like, oh, I hate the holidays or anything. Like,
Ugh.
I'm kind of like neutral towards it. Like,
Yeah.
I like them, but I'm not like obsessed or anything.
This year has been weird though.
Oh,
with the
this year was
holidays.
really hard for me.
I
I
feel the
could
same
not
way.
wait for them to be over.
Yeah. Yeah. Almost
So-
everyone I've talked to has felt that way
Yeah.
this year.
I don't know if it has to do with COVID. I
I
feel like
know.
it kind of does, but everything
think
just
it's-
feels intense. Like,
Mhm.
I think the trauma of what we all just went through the past couple years, and
Yeah.
everyone's just like tired.
Well,
I
and then
think
like
so.
trying to gather together with all these people too. There's
Yeah.
like that thing looming over your head that's like, should we actually like be doing this? And you
know.
know, it's like a lot of pressure.
yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, the restaurant's going good.
Good.
I mean, it's like a little hard with Jose's mom still. I
Yeah.
don't know if he'll be mad if I put this out in the open. Hopefully
You don't want to
not.
talk about it if you don't want to.
Well, I like want to talk about it, but I'm like, I don't know.
Well, we can talk about it, and if you want to cut it out, we can.
Okay. Well, you know how like old people are? They just like kind of they're just really set in their ways.
Oh yeah.
And I just feel like before every time he tried to run it, because this has happened like a lot of times before where he was like supposed to take over and then he would kind of change his mind, or they would say they were going to sell it or whatever. And every time that he like would have an idea, she basically, I feel like, would just be like, that won't work because of this and this and this. And for the most part, everything's been okay, but there has been like a few things that I noticed he'll like mention, or I'll kind of have an idea and she just kind of like immediately shuts it down. And it's kind of hard because I'm like, I'm not gonna run it. I'm not going to do it if it's gonna be that way. Like we have to like have a talk
She has
about
to
it
let
or
it
something.
go.
She
Like,
has
she
to
has
let it
to
go.
let it go.
And that's the thing. She's like telling Jose like that she does want to retire. So I'm like, if you want to retire, like you have to let it go.
do it.
It
Yeah.
would
just
be
have
so
to.
hard though, like if you've run something for so
No,
long to let it
I
change.
totally
Letting go of the
understand.
control.
You know,
Yeah.
I do get it, but I'm like, I feel like and I'm willing to compromise on stuff. Like, of course, I totally am. But that's where I'm like, I wish she would like compromise a little bit more.
Well, that you could even just have a conversation about what the best thing would be instead of like, no.
These are why I see things this way. This is why this should change. I think this would bring in more people, and she'd meet you halfway.
She likes, like, some of my ideas and stuff, and it's been, like I said, it hasn't been bad, but then there's, like, some things that, even just, like, people that we want to run certain things, like, kind of be like a manager. She's like, no, they can't do it because they're not, like, mean. And I'm like, they don't need to be, like, mean to do it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, everybody has a different way of, like, managing, and I've freaking managed people forever, and I am not like mean when I manage. I can be straightforward, like I'm fine with doing that, you know what I mean, but I'm never like mean. I feel like it always comes from my heart. You know, and I always just like want the best, but that doesn't mean I'm not gonna like still get it done,
right?
You know. So that like kind of bothers me, because I'm like, it doesn't have to be like like yelling at everyone and stuff, you know.
Well, it'd probably be better if it wasn't that way.
Exactly. Like, some of the workers, like, get super frustrated when it's like that, I'll just say. And I obviously can understand why, you know what I mean? I look around and I'm like, oh my god. But.
Oh, that's hard.
Yeah, that's what's going on.
That is hard. It's hard to, like, being, like...
It being your being.
Well, and it being your husband's mom.
And
like
that's
trying
like,
to like
honestly,
talk to her about how you
thing.
feel, like your in-laws, like it's already a lot to have in-laws and try to like talk to them about real things, and now you're running their business, like that's a lot.
Exactly. Like, I feel like I was telling my mom this today. So Salt Lake just came out with a mask mandate. I don't know if you guys know this.
I didn't know that.
They just like put it out again yesterday, and I
don't want to.
I really like. I hate it.
It's so
I'm
hard
sorry.
to go back to masks.
Yeah, I'm one of those people.
Never
Judge me if you will, whatever. But I just like hate the masks, honestly. And Jose's mom like loves them.
Oh,
so does his dad.
So
They'll
hard.
wear 2 masks.
Oh
even,
my god.
that whole thing, and they're really like bought into the whole thing. So it's really hard. But Jose's like. Okay, so she sent him a text on Friday night and just said, like, masks are mandatory. Like, that's all that it said. And I'm like, oh, great. Like, we're going to have to wear masks and whatever. So I, like, showed up with one, and then Jose never put one on. But I was, like, worried she was going to get pissed if we weren't wearing one. So I had one on, and she ended up, like, not saying anything. But I was talking to my mom about the whole thing today, and I'm like, I feel like it's different for him, because she is going to love him unconditionally. And, like, if they fight, she'll be like...
She loves him.
You're my son. Yeah, exactly. But I'm like the daughter-in-law, and it's like way more conditional love. So I'm like, I don't want to like be rebelling against her and be like, whatever, mother-in-law, and like not wear it. Where he can be like, that's my mom. Like, you know, I can fight with her, whatever. So
like on a spiritual note, though, don't you feel like when you become more spiritual and kind of like aware of things and live that kind of lifestyle, that it's like way easier to communicate with people? But then there's people who like can't be receptive, and they just are, you're like, whoa, wait, I've realized now I can't converse with you. Like,
it's like hard when people are not aware of like anything.
So many people are
when
like
they don't have like self-awareness or awareness of like, what is the word? Like worldly awareness? I don't know. They just honestly really are like asleep, like you were saying. Like they just listen to like the news for everything and just like believe anything that they hear.
They're on autopilot and they don't question anything.
Yeah, exactly. That is a good way to put it.
Yeah. Well, that's why we named our podcast Living in the Question. Because I think it is so important to like live in the question, and everything that we go through in our life, like we always want to have an answer. Like it's so normal. It's so normal to always like want to have answers and, you know, always figure things out.
Solve everything. Solve all of our problems.
Right.
Yeah.
It's so normal to want to do that, you know? But I think it's so important to like, I don't know, this is like a little teaching that I've learned over the years, and just to live in the question, and it's good to question everything. Like, no matter what you go through in life, like, you don't always have to have answers.
Yeah.
And if you think about it like this, like, sometimes we feel that we need to, like, have answers for, let's just say I'm having a really hard day, and I'm like, okay, I'm feeling really shitty today. Like, why do I feel shitty? Why do I feel shitty? And I'm trying to harp on why I feel shitty, and it's like, oh, wait, if you just stop and let yourself feel shitty, something else happens. And you don't always have to have an answer. It's like, you can live in the question, and like I was saying, something else happens. It's like something else opens up. And also, you're a lot more able to, like, be present in your body and allow things to just be as they are when you don't have to have an answer to every question.
Mm-hmm.
You know? And, like, kind of like what we talked about last episode, too. Like, it's so important to, like, I just lost all my train of thought.
Good.
It just
You
went
said
out.
what we talked about
what we
last
talked about,
episode.
yeah, last episode. I guess it won't be the last episode. Like, with the podcast that we put out, it'll be 2 episodes ago.
Okay.
But we talked about questioning things, like with COVID and, you know, all the conspiracy stuff, and just allowing yourself to question things, and, like, with the government and whatever. Like, that is so important, and it also allows you to have way more perspective. Like, you know?
And, like, compassion, too,
Right.
towards where, like, other people are coming from.
Right.
Even.
Yes.
Yeah.
I
Right.
think it's all just, like, about being open-minded. Like,
Uh-huh.
even, I feel like anything I said on the last one, it's like, I'm still open to changing my mind about that.
Right.
You know? Like, I'm not, like, set in any of those,
Yeah.
I don't know, conspiracies or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
that's just where I'm at right now. But if something else came out, I don't know.
Yeah, you're
if
open
I learned,
to hearing.
like, some new, whatever.
Yeah.
Like,
Totally willing
I'm
to
not
look
set on any end result
Goal.
either of any of it. Like,
Right.
I think there's, like, so many possibilities of, like, what could happen and whatever. So,
Yeah, I believe that. And also, if you're so stuck in, like, what you believe, like we've talked about, the older generation is so stuck in their beliefs, and this is what it is, and they will never question anything because this is just what it is. And it's scary. It's scary to ask questions and to open yourself up to this might not be true. You know what I mean? Whatever it is.
I never, like, thought of it like that. That
Yeah.
was kind of interesting because I feel like that is, like, living in fear.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
And people talk a lot about, like, living in fear, but I never thought about it in that
Related
same way.
to that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's so true. And if you're stuck in your ways and you're not allowed to, like, in your mind, you're not allowed to question things, and this is just how it is, then how are you ever going to grow? We've also talked about that on a different episode. Like, I remember us saying that exact thing. How are you going to grow if you're so stuck in your ways?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
You're not willing to look at the other side.
Yeah.
We talked about that on the Ram Dass.
Okay, yeah, it was, huh? I think that was the first episode.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's just like growing up Mormon, too. Just being told, like, this is what we believe, and you don't ask questions, you just have faith, and God has all the answers, and Jesus has all the answers, and if you have any questions, just pray, and you'll have all the answers, and
That's
just
so
hold off, and
frustrating.
you'll get all the answers. It's like, but wait.
Yeah, and you try to ask questions, and it's like, well, read the scriptures.
Yeah.
It's like,
and
well,
you're
wait, what?
You're just
You're like,
told-
none of it even makes any sense.
Yeah, what
to
do you
me.
mean?
You're
Like,
just told not to ask questions
Yeah.
and to just believe, just have faith and believe.
Yeah.
But it's like, no, actually, I do have questions, and why am I being shamed for
having the
asking
questions.
them?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then you're kind of conditioned to not question anything and just, you know,
Fall in line.
yeah,
Right.
fall in line.
For real.
And it's
Yeah.
like that with any religion. Like,
Yeah.
Totally is.
they're, I don't know. But you bring up those types of things to certain people, like people in my family, and it's just, it instantly just goes negative, and it's like, okay, so now I know, don't touch that subject, because that is
Yeah.
an
It's not worth
untouchable
it.
subject.
Yeah.
You know?
That's where it's hard to talk to people that aren't doing all this awareness work and consciousness work, like we were saying, because it is that way. There's certain
Exactly.
things you can't bring up. There's certain things you
It
can't
will,
talk
like,
about.
ruin
and you
your
have to censor
relationship
yourself.
with them.
Yeah, and you have to censor yourself, and
Yeah.
it's so hard. That's why I
It
think,
is.
like, having this podcast is so beautiful, that we are all so open-minded, and it's like, we're going to create this community of people who all are open-minded, and we all got each other's back, you know? Which
Like
is
the
so
one,
cool.
the one thing that I keep wanting to bring up to, like, my family, but I've held back on it because I know how crazy it sounds, is the fact that, like, UFOs and stuff and, like, outer the outer galaxy and like other beings coming here and protecting us
Yeah.
and like spaceships in the clouds.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, maybe it's not true and it does sound crazy, but
Yeah.
like I kind of like when I'm driving and I look at the cloud and it looks like a spaceship and I think for a second, oh my god, like what if that's true?
You know what I like looking out for a UFO.
Yeah.
Was it? And Jose's like, it's a plane. Every time I always think.
Yeah. Well, it makes life way more interesting
Yeah.
It's
too
fun.
when you can live in the question and like wonder, like, you
See,
know.
that's my answer too, is like if somebody says that, like one of my parents or Bryce is like, you're freaking crazy. I'm like, okay, maybe like I am telling myself this is true and maybe it's not, but like it's more fun in life to think that that's
Yeah.
a spaceship rather than just a cloud. Like,
Right.
gosh, look, it's a spaceship.
Yeah.
Like, wave. You know what I mean?
Say hi to the aliens.
Yeah, they're here giving us support, making us feel
Yeah.
loved and like guided.
For real.
Maybe those are our spirit guides in that spaceship. You
Yeah.
know, like
You never know.
You know,
never know.
it's like we don't have any of the answers.
Yeah.
So it's like you're just limiting yourself.
yes,
Yeah.
If you're.
let's live fun.
Yeah.
This is a fun way to live.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
And don't we want to make every day that we have on this earth like a
Better.
good time
Mhm.
and better?
you know
Like,
what clicked
let's-
for me
yeah.
when I finally realized, because like growing up Mormon, like you're taught that like you die and then you either go to like one of the three kingdoms or you're cast out, and so it's kind of like puts you in this box of like however much you do right in this
Ooh.
lifetime
Ugh.
is where you're gonna be like
Yeah.
layered.
I
Like,
used to stress so much about
yeah,
that.
like what if you're like, I've asked my mom too, like, Mom, so you're telling me that since like you are probably going to the highest kingdom that we're not going to be with you.
Yeah,
But
then
she'll say, no, I'm not saying that. And it's
See?
like, but that's what you believe.
it makes
so, like,
no sense
yeah.
because then they preach families are together forever. So then it's this thing that's like
oh, wait.
It
But
doesn't make sense.
it makes
doesn't.
It
no
just contradicts
sense.
itself.
And if you
right?
ask the question, you know,
Don't ask
you're-
questions.
Yeah, go read the scriptures
Yeah.
or
Mhm.
You'll
have
find,
faith.
You'll find the answers if you just read the whole book. It's
Yeah.
like, really?
Pray.
though? Like,
Yeah,
but then again, like, what if we die and, like, there are the kingdoms and we're like, oh, shit.
yeah. That's the thing
We
too is
fucked
we
up.
don't really
Yeah,
know.
exactly.
We have no
Yeah.
idea.
I don't know.
But
When I realized and started to kind of believe that like our soul goes on and either we're like sent to like a different life, I don't know if it's on earth or where, but like to learn other lessons that our soul needs, and then it just keeps going until eventually like full enlightenment and we're all like one. I don't know, but like when I realized and Bryce and I had kind of made the connection of like this isn't it, I felt so much safer and I was
Oh my
like,
gosh,
oh,
yeah.
like when I die, I'm just going on. I'm not like, it's not ending.
Yeah.
I'm going on. Like, I don't know
Well,
what
where
it is.
would you go?
Yeah, I don't know
Where
like,
else would you go?
Yeah.
where it is, but I know it's something good because
Yeah.
whenever I think about my grandma, I can feel like a burning in my chest or like I'll smell cigarettes and I'm like, that's her.
Yeah.
Or, you know, just little things that like pop up and I'm like, I know she's with me. So
It brings you comfort.
where is she?
Mhm.
Yeah.
She's right here, but like, what does that look like for her? Is
Yeah.
she conscious?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's fun to think about though.
Yeah.
I know.
It is fun to think about. It's also like comes down to the topic of like past lives and stuff. You know what I
Dude.
mean? Like
Dude,
thinking,
I am like convinced
about that.
that I died on the Titanic.
Yeah. We had a big
Have I
talk
told you
about
No,
this?
this.
you didn't tell me.
Okay, so I have this huge thing with the number like 5 or 15.
Yeah.
Okay, 5/15 is my birthday, May 15th. So all like so many of the people that I care about have 5s in their birthdays. Like my dad's the 25th, Bryce is May, so 5. Cash is on the 5th. Like just so many birthdays on the 5th. Okay, or 15th or May. Da da da. Grandma Rose 15th, and my grandma Mellon 5th. She also died on the 5th. So I'm like, something with the 5th, okay? Well, I've had these like intense dreams where I've been like at the bottom of the ocean and I can see up. And it's weird because I've never been in that situation. But one time Bryce and I were watching National Geographic on the TV and it was someone recording from down low, recording whales up. And I was like, I've seen that before. What the hell? Like, I don't know what that is, but
It like
you know,
felt real for you.
it felt real. And I've had dreams where I could breathe underwater and like had fun conversations with my family. And I'm like, God, I think I was like a whale in a past life. And my sister was like, what if you were a mermaid? And I'm like, oh my God, I
Like,
think
I
that's
was
so
a
much
fucking
better.
mermaid.
I was a mermaid. So now I want to get a mermaid tail and like swim like a mermaid. And I don't know. But I also have this crazy fear of the ocean. I can never relax on the beach. I always think the water's going out way too far. We're about to have a tsunami. Like, I'm always terrified of the ocean. And I've always said I'll never go on a cruise. So I just don't like, I don't like cruise ships.
You don't want to be stuck out there.
I don't want to be on a cruise ship in the middle of the ocean. That's
Is there
terrifying.
any reason why you would have a fear to water?
No, other
Like,
than...
there hasn't been anything
You
that
didn't,
happened in your life that has
Nothing.
made you fearful of water. Okay,
Nothing.
I just had to ask that.
It's because I
That
freaking
is
died
a
on the
good question. I
Titanic.
didn't think
Yeah.
about that.
Uh-huh.
Like,
Yeah.
what if I did? It sunk on April 15th.
Yeah.
Okay, 1912. Okay, if I died on the Titanic and was reborn, I could have had a whole nother lifetime until I was born as Elena in 93, and I would have died in my past life at 81. My grandma Mellon just died at 81.
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm like, so I could have died on the Titanic, had a whole 81-year-old life,
Yeah.
died in 93, and been reborn into me.
Could have had like 4 more lives.
Yeah,
Like,
you know what I
died at-
mean?
I don't know.
And that
See, yeah.
sounds crazy, but like,
No.
But you're living
Like-
in the question.
yeah, what if that's true?
Look at that. It's like, it could be
Yeah.
true, it could not be true, but you're
I
holding
could be a
both.
whack job.
And yeah, you
I
could just
probably
be
am.
crazy, and that's fine too.
That's fine too, it's fun.
You're not crazy.
But you guys are both laughing, so like it did something good, you know?
Yeah,
Like,
right. There you go. Yeah.
It's
No,
just
but
fun.
I don't
Yeah.
think it's crazy. I see what you're saying.
So now I want to
Yeah.
go see a past life regression person and
Mhm.
just
Yeah.
see if they bring up anything to do with like a boat or
That's cool.
water and just kind of
But
test
what made
it.
you think of the Titanic specifically?
It just
Yeah.
popped into my head when I was eating lunch one day.
Oh.
And I was like, what the heck? Like, the Titanic? And then I was like, I wonder about the Titanic. And I was just researching it, and I was like, it sunk on the 15th? Like, wow. And it just, like, clicked.
Things kind
Mhm.
of clicked.
And then I was like, wait, like,
Yeah.
I could have been on there.
Mm-hmm.
15. My birthday's on the 15th. Like, there's just, I don't know. Like,
It's
it
just
could
weird.
be freaking
Could be,
crazy.
it could not be. It's
Yeah,
both.
it
Yeah.
probably isn't, but
Yeah.
I like to think that it is. Like,
Yeah.
it's fun.
And you never know.
You know? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
We should have like a past life regressionist on here.
We
I
should.
actually have a lady that I did one with that I'm sure she'd be down to come on. But that would be really cool to
Yeah.
talk
Was
to
it
her about
amazing?
it. It was so amazing.
Really? Did it make sense?
Well, I mean, so it's so much to like go into,
You're like, I
which
can't
I don't
unpack it
know
all
if
on
we
this.
want to go into that right now, but it was so amazing. And so I saw three different lifetimes? Yeah, 3 different lifetimes. And after each lifetime that you see, your past life, I guess, she takes you to the very end of your life, and you see yourself like dying, and like how did you die, and you see the end of your life. And so at the very end, after you like see yourself die, she says, what message do you have for yourself now from this past life? And the messages I got were like really on point. Like one of them was like, you like can't be afraid to love again. And that was huge for me because since my divorce, I'm so
Yeah.
afraid, and I still am so afraid, and like I always think about that, and I'm like, okay, I can do this, you know. But that was like because of some trauma that I went through in one of my past lives. That's why I had that message come through. So I don't know, it's kind of interesting. But going back to like the religion thing, like that's when I like had that past life regression, and when I started to think too that like, oh, life doesn't just end after this, it brought me a lot of peace as well. And like
Yes.
that our life goes on, or
Yes.
that there has been previous lives before, and like each lifetime we're here to learn something that our soul needs to like level up.
Yes.
You know? And I
Yeah.
totally believe that. Like, when I hear that, it just feels right. And
Well-
it's like, you hear about people who have, like, died and came back to life, and they talk about how it was on the other side. And, like,
Yeah.
when you hear that stuff, it's like, oh my gosh, duh. It just makes sense, and it
Yeah.
feels so right. And it's
Yeah.
like, okay, why would I limit myself to think that I'm just dead after this and there's nothing after? You know what I mean? Like, that's so sad to live that way.
It doesn't really make sense to me, honestly,
Yeah.
because this is all life, right? Like,
Yeah.
everything is all energy. Like, of course it's going to go somewhere.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
right.
So it doesn't really, like,
It can't just
Yeah.
disappear.
Just end.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like, where would it go? You
And
know,
we
like,
have a
that's what I was
soul.
saying earlier. I'm like,
Yeah.
well, like, where else would you go? Like,
Right.
you're going to go somewhere. Like, your energy's going to go somewhere.
Yeah.
It doesn't just,
And the fact
Disappear.
yeah.
that we are all souls in a human body, and I've been told so many times, which you both probably have been told as well about yourselves, is you're such an old soul. Like, my mom has told me that since I was, like, tiny.
Yeah.
Okay, Mom, well, what do you mean by old soul if, like, this is my only lifetime?
Yeah.
Right.
How does that even make sense?
Right.
Like, you don't even know what you're saying right now, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
That's so
An
true.
old soul means that I've, like, had past lives.
Yeah.
And I'm, like, along
I've
this
been-
journey, I don't know.
Yes.
Like, you
Right.
know?
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy.
That is so crazy. I just think that, yeah. I mean, religion is like a whole episode. We could talk for days about that.
Yeah. I
But
feel like we have like quite a bit too
We
in
have.
other episodes.
we didn't release that episode.
Oh.
So that's one that we
We can
definitely
leave, right?
need
for now.
to talk about. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess
we need
we
to talk
did.
about it at some point.
That's
like
not coming out.
religion. Yeah, right. We're not letting that one come out because that one was a shit show and
Yeah, a few.
Well, I don't
Yeah.
I don't want to offend my mom or anybody who's, like, super active or anything.
Yeah.
It's just, this is my own personal experience, and, like, I did kind of leave all of that lifestyle with a little bit of negative feelings just because of, like, how I felt like it put me in a box. Like, I
Yes.
couldn't be my true self without feeling shame for that. And
yeah.
I didn't like that.
Yep.
And so, like, I chose to not pursue that, and I chose to not have my kids go if they want to go, like, with the neighbor kid or ever have
like,
any
great.
sort of anything. Like, yes, go, please. Like, decide if it's right for you.
Yeah.
I will not shame at all, but I
Yeah.
also am not going to, like, conform to any.
It's just not right for
Religion.
you.
Yeah.
And if it works
yeah.
for people, then that's great
amazing.
too.
Like-
It's like if that is your way of getting your soul fed and like
Yes.
your spiritual
your
self
security.
being felt, then great, go do
Yeah.
that. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
but it's like that's not like what we resonate with, and that's okay too.
Yes,
You
that's
know?
totally fine.
Yep.
All of it is.
Yeah.
Can I just say, like, the last few days, I feel like I've been going through that weird, almost like depersonalization again.
Yeah.
But not like super bad. Just like, I keep feeling like I shouldn't like think about it too much, but then it comes into my head and then it all happens over again. But
Yeah.
like, I do feel like it's so weird that we're here. Like, what is real? Like,
Yeah.
Definitely.
how am I seeing out of my body, but
Yeah.
I'm not my body? And then it just starts to throw me into this whole, like, panic, even though I'm, like, trying not to even think about it too much. Do you
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or it's not even a panic. It's just, like, I start to feel like I'm not in my body anymore.
Yeah.
Mm.
Like you don't have control.
I don't know.
Is it kind of
It's
like,
just, like,
what's
I start
the
to
point?
see everything different. No, it's just, like, I guess things feel so confusing, right?
Yeah.
Like, we don't have answers, and I'm like, it's like, as much as I am at peace with that, it still does throw me
Yeah.
for, like,
Well, it's scary.
yeah, it's, like,
Yeah.
scary once you start to actually think about it.
Right.
When you go outside and look up at the sky and realize that it goes on forever and ever and
I'm
ever
just
and ever
like,
and ever.
what is real?
Yeah.
Like, what is this? How am I inside this body?
Yeah.
Like, is,
Oh, you can
Do
go
you
down a
know
rabbit
what I'm
hole.
saying?
Yes.
yeah.
You
Yeah.
can go way far down the
I
rabbit
just
hole.
hate the feeling, though. It's bugging me. I'm like,
Yeah.
even like just barely when you guys started talking about it, it started to throw me into it, and I'm like,
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
oh no,
Oh,
it's
no.
okay.
Do you feel like there's something that triggers that for you? Like when you go into these weird little spells, like is there something that triggers it for you?
No, it's just pretty much thinking about any of those
Those topics.
thoughts, but it's like mostly lately. I just feel like I'm seeing. I don't know how to explain it really good. Like I'm seeing out of my body.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying?
You're seeing out of your body.
You know what
That
I
you
mean?
are the
Like you're
awareness.
outside of your body watching
It's
yourself.
Not
like,
not exactly. It's
Okay.
like I'm just like confused almost of how am I inside this body and
Yeah.
it's not me.
Yeah.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't even know like why I'll start thinking about that. It's just like my vision almost. Like
Yeah.
I start to feel like I look around and I'm like, how am I
Everything's kinda out of touch.
like seeing? Do you get what
Yeah.
I mean? Like
Maybe you're
how am I
stepping
seeing?
into,
How am
like,
I
Maybe you're
in
stepping
this,
into a deeper
like-
awareness
oh I don't
and
know.
becoming like
It's honestly
your
not
real,
great,
true
but
self.
Yeah.
yeah.
And it's uncomfortable. It could be like you're
Yeah,
actually
it could
stepping
be.
into your soul.
Yeah.
So you're kind of seeing things from your soul's perspective rather than
Yeah.
your body's, and you're like, wait, what?
Well, yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
I think that is a good way to say it because I'm like seeing it.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I don't know how to explain it.
Which also, like we've been talking
it's something
about,
like I can't explain.
it could be that, or it could not be that.
Yeah.
Holding both,
Yeah,
living in
totally.
the question. It could be any of it, because
Yeah.
sometimes too, when you start to like put too much like
Yes.
meaning
Thought
on something,
or meaning.
yes, it can
you
spiral
attach
you
to
in
it
a whole
and
other
then
way.
yeah.
Yes. See,
So I do try not to attach to it, but then
But
I
still.
think that's when I get frustrated because I'm like, I'm not even like, I don't know, yeah, like attached to
Mhm.
a certain outcome or whatever, but it's like, just the thought of it starts to like make my body feel weird, and
Yeah.
I'm like feeling like,
I feel like you're like detaching in a way.
yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's what it sounds like. Cause like
Yeah.
you're detaching from yourself in a way.
Mm-hmm.
It's like this other part of you is like running the show, and you're kind of like watching, like
Yeah.
what's happening. That's
Oh,
Yeah.
hey, which one is it?
yeah.
Because they have the addictive one.
There
you
we
have
go.
the judge. What else is there?
Are you schizophrenic? I'm just kidding.
Shit,
Did that make it worse?
Yeah, right now, yeah, my mind
I'm
is
sorry. I'm just joking.
What if that's like what schizophrenia is?
Well, sometimes
Yeah,
I
those
think
other
it
parts
is.
of
Who
them just
knows?
like
Yeah.
overpower.
Oh, it is. It's
That's-
totally that.
holy
People just
crap,
your
wow.
different ones take over.
Yeah.
You know,
Over.
it's like there's so many parts of us, and it's like, yeah, those different ones take over. It's kind of wild
Do
to
I
think
sound
about.
schizophrenic?
No, you're not
If
schizophrenic.
you're
I just had to give you
schizophrenic, I
shit.
am too, because damn.
Yeah,
I'm
sorry
freaking
if you're listening
batshit
and you are
crazy.
schizophrenic, because that would be such a hard life to live, and we
Yeah.
all have compassion for you, and damn.
Sending love.
Ugh,
Yeah,
yeah.
right. Oh my
Anyway.
gosh.
Life is not easy.
Mm-mm.
And all the times, like how things are right now in society, it's scary. And I think we're kind of all kind of stepping out of the scary part of it and just kind of into acceptance of like what's new. What are
Yeah.
the rules today?
Yeah, which is
You
so
know,
good
it's-
in a way.
It's
like
good,
we're-
and I think everyone's frustrated.
Yeah.
It's like this
Because
frustration
none of it makes
coming up.
sense.
No, none of
Yeah.
it makes sense.
Like,
But it's good we're all recognizing
Yeah.
none of it makes sense.
I think like
that's
a lot of
really
the people
huge.
who have been asleep to it are starting to recognize
They're
it.
like, what the fuck is even going on?
Well, yeah, ever since like I don't even know what came out, but I just keep seeing all of the stupid little CDC says things. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Ever since they came out with whatever the
More.
last thing they said, like it seems like it somehow woke a lot of people up because they're like, this is like bullshit. Like you guys changed the rules like
Yeah.
every 5 seconds. Like
Right,
how are we
now-
supposed to trust
what's
you?
even real?
Yeah, exactly.
If you are vaccinated and you get COVID, you only have to wear a mask for half the time, which makes no sense at all.
Well,
It's like
and-
Oh, is
yeah.
that it?
they're being rewarded for getting vaccinated, even if you have COVID. Like, oh, you only have to wear a mask half the time.
They
It's like,
just changed it to the quarantine period is only 5 days now.
Yeah.
if you're vaccinated.
Oh,
No.
if you're vaccinated.
No,
oh,
I'm-
in general.
Really?
In general, River just had COVID, and they told him that he could go back to work after 5 days.
They're like, man, we're sick of paying for your shit. Go
Yeah.
back to work.
It's like, wait, why?
Yeah.
Like, it just doesn't
It
make
just
sense. We question
doesn't,
it,
yeah.
and they're like, just follow the rules.
I know, and then
it's like,
they change it.
But why?
Yeah.
You know?
It's a trip.
We're all stuck in the question. I wanted to say, too, like, I kind of brought up earlier, like, about the fear aspect of it. It's like when you start to, like, ask questions or, you know, it's scary. It's really scary to live in the question and not know the answers.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
I just wanted to speak to the fact that when we have fear show up, that is your ego. And I just kind of wanted to say that. I don't know why I just had that thought. But yeah, when you have that fear show up around really anything, it's your ego trying to hold you back from
Trying to
growing.
keep you safe.
Well,
Yes.
Yeah.
Because your ego does want to keep you safe, and your ego doesn't like change. And when you start to think a different way, or you start to go out of the norm, your ego's like, wait, no, wait, stay here, wait,
Yeah.
you know? Your ego freaks out a little bit, and so the fear arises. And I don't know, that's helped me a lot, just to recognize when I feel fear, that it's my ego just trying to hold on. So that's kind of helped me a little bit. I just wanted to share that.
Well, I feel like that's kind of a good segue into what we were planning on talking about anyway.
Yeah.
Because we kind of talked about it a little bit.
Yeah.
But I know you had more that you wanted to say,
Yeah.
right?
Just
Just like,
about-
what is living in the question? What does that mean? All
Yeah.
of that, right?
Yeah. I mean, I kind of said it, but I said earlier, like, oh, okay, this is something I wanted to say. Sorry, I had to look at my notes. I wanted to say that trying to have an answer Like, when we're in that place of not knowing, like, okay, like, I use the example of feeling shitty. Like, I feel really shitty today, and, like, why am I feeling shitty? You sit there, and you're like, wait, why am I feeling shitty? Why? And you start to, like, just need to know, and that is a way of, like, escaping yourself. That's a way of numbing out. It's a way of, you know, wanting to know all of the answers, and just, like,
it's pulling
not being
yourself,
present.
Yeah, it's pulling
Yes.
yourself out of the present moment.
Right.
Well, and then you're like just attaching it to some idea.
something
It has
else.
to be because of this.
Yeah, it has to be because of this, and then you focus on that thing, when in reality, it could just be a feeling you're having in your body that you just need to feel and release.
Yeah.
Instead of putting an attachment to it of this is what it is and this is why I'm feeling the way I'm feeling, that actually does a lot more damage than if you just feel the feelings that are coming up. And it's like, oh, I just feel shitty today, and that's okay. And I'm just going to let myself feel shitty, and I'll be okay. And then guess what? That feeling passes, and then you're okay. But if you sit there and numb out, then that feeling's going to be there way longer.
Yeah.
And
I love that you said that.
yeah, it's so true. Like, you don't think about it like that, but it is so true.
Yeah.
You know?
I do that way too
We
much
all do.
in the most
It's human.
annoying ways. Like,
Yeah.
anytime me and Bryce fight or I get pissed, I'm always like, God, I just carry this because of this happened when I was a kid, and I'm this way because of this. And it's like, no, maybe that just did piss you off for a second.
Right.
Like, why am I sitting here trying to analyze it and attach meaning to everything? And like,
and then you go down
makes
this whole
sense.
spiral where you even get feeling more shitty, because then it's like, oh, well, it's because of this and this, and then it's like, oh, well, wait.
But
that
you're like
makes me
more
feel-
pissed.
Yes,
Yeah.
it does. Instead
Yeah.
of just like feeling the initial thing that's coming up and just letting it be and just letting it pass. It's
then-
literally that easy.
going back to the present moment and being like,
Yes.
hey, that's gone, I'm good. I don't have to analyze. I don't have to think about it again. I can
Right.
just let it go. Bye.
And just to like, we talk about this so much, you guys, and it's probably going to keep happening because awareness is everything. If you are just aware that you are trying to have an answer, that's all you have to do.
Yeah.
Just be aware and just be like, oh, I'm trying to fix the problem right now. Oh, okay.
Well, doesn't
Well,
that
let's
give you
just-
so much more freedom to let it go once
Yes.
you realize that you're doing that?
Right.
Yeah.
And it's like power. Like,
Yeah.
that gives
Yeah,
you
exactly.
power, you know?
You can take your power back.
Yes. Take that power back, bitches. Exactly. Yeah.
I used to, well, my mom always thought this was so funny.
Mhm.
One time in high school, I like came home from school and her and my neighbor were like talking outside, and I was just feeling like, I don't know, shitty or whatever that day, but I didn't really have a reason why. And I was like, today I just feel like, yeah, and I just like laid on the grass and was like rolling around and was like, ah! And my mom always like thinks that, she always like tells me that story. She's like, remember when you did like, that's how I feel today, like, you know what I mean? But
Yeah, but that's how you felt.
yeah, and it's like, I don't
Yeah.
know, I didn't really have any attachments to it then,
Yeah.
you know, this specific situation, but I was just like feeling it, you know?
Yeah.
Just like, I don't know why, but I just feel like, ah!
Yeah, and a lot of the time we don't know why. And
Yeah.
it's like, okay, that's
there's
okay.
That's
reason
okay,
why.
but I do feel this
Right,
way.
and there
so.
doesn't always have to be a
Yeah.
reason either. It's like literally the smallest of things can like make you feel an emotion or a feeling, and it's like, you know, you see someone driving next to you, and let's just say they're like, I don't know, they're really angry or something, and then you like feel that anger, you see it all over their face, and you just like suck it in, and then you get home and you're like, oh my god, I'm really pissed off, and why am I pissed off? And it's like
Yeah.
literally just that small little interaction
That's true.
could have been the reason, but also, who fucking cares?
That's the other
Yeah,
thing.
who
Let
cares?
it be.
Yeah.
I read this thing that said if you're feeling depleted, think like just sit with it, and you gotta like decide whether or not it's actually your feeling of depletion,
That's
or
the
are
other
you
Or if you're,
carrying
like,
somebody else's
taking
feeling?
someone else.
Yes, and a lot of the time it isn't
It's
even
somebody
our own.
else's.
Mhm.
Yeah, and we're just unintentionally picked it up along the day.
Yeah.
You know?
Ugh, that was me last week.
Yeah.
That's why I was so stressed.
Well, you
Yeah.
can do that in your lifetime. Like
Yeah.
I had a really crazy experience when I realized just a couple months ago that I was holding on to so many of my dad's emotions, and I was like,
Yeah.
oh my god, wow, I'm carrying
Yeah.
my dad's shit, and I don't even know how or why, but it was like bred into me,
Yeah.
and I'm holding it, and I don't have to.
Yeah.
Wow.
And
You
it's
know?
so
And
profound
then
when
you
you have
release
that.
it.
It's like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh,
And you're
wow.
like, oh my god, I'm so much lighter.
Well, I
Right.
always talk about this, but I don't
Yeah.
know what to call her. She's not my healer. She's not my
She's your
therapist.
healer, she's
But
your
I
healer.
do like to do like some sessions with her, and she does like she like releases trapped emotions, and it's
Mhm.
basically like all just like releasing and stuff. But
Yeah.
I have so many freaking trapped emotions, you know,
Yeah.
and
We all do.
like I totally get where you're coming from.
Right.
But what was interesting this last week, I was like, oh, I need a freaking session with her for like right now in my life, not for like,
Yeah.
you know, all the years past where I have things
Yeah.
trapped. It's like for right now, because I could feel myself doing it again. I was
Mm.
taking on like someone else's stuff,
Mhm.
and I'm like, I'm gonna like cause myself a bunch of
Physical harm. Literally, you're gonna
Just
get sick. You're gonna
unneeded
get... Yeah.
stress, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Right.
know, if I don't just like release this and
Yeah.
So have you scheduled with her?
no.
It's on your
That's
to-do
okay, you
list.
will.
I do really want to, but I just haven't
Yeah.
yet.
Yeah.
And it's always like on Sunday when I'm like,
Mhm.
oh, I should see, because Monday's my day off, and I'm like, I should see if she can do a session with me tomorrow. But I feel bad texting her on Sundays because she's like Mormon.
Yeah.
I don't want to be like rude. I know she probably doesn't
I
really
don't
use
think
her.
that's rude.
I don't
No,
know.
it's not.
Is
She
it
doesn't
not?
have to respond today. She can respond
that's
tomorrow.
Yeah, at least
I
just
feel
it.
like
I don't think it's rude to
It's
text
not.
people. I mean, if
Yeah.
you're showing up at her door, it might be a different thing.
Yeah.
But you're not, you know.
Hey, can I come in?
Uh-huh.
I need a session.
Hey, I'm ready.
fix me.
Fix me real quick.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Well, I also kind of wanted to talk about all of the people listening right now. If you've made it this far, hey, thank you. But you probably are all wondering, like, how do you guys, like, have all this knowledge, and, like, why do you feel like you're qualified to talk about this? And honestly, we're not. We're not qualified to give advice and to tell people how to live their lives, and none of us are therapists. None of us are, you know, any of that. But we all have been on our own personal healing journey and working on being more aware and being more conscious. And, like, I guess I'll speak for myself. Me personally, I have been working with a non-dual Kabbalistic healer for almost 4 years. And I just finished, actually today, my first year of
Wow.
school
Yeah.
to become a non-dual Kabbalistic healer. Thank you. It's a lot to go into. If you are wondering what that is, look it up. Or I have a book that you can get and read, and it talks all about like non-dual work and just what it's all about, and becoming more conscious and becoming more aware, and kind of.
Is it the instruction manual?
No, it is. So the author is Jason Schulman, Schulman, and the book is called Beyond the Now. And that is a really, really good book to start, like, giving you steps to take to start thinking a different way and opening your mind. So if anyone is interested or wonders, like, what are you guys talking about? Everything we've talked about will be in that book. Like,
I wanna
all
read it.
you should read it.
We should read it. Let's do that.
We
Let's
should.
do that.
Let's
We
do
really
a
should.
book club, and then whoever wants to listen can do a book club with us.
Yeah. Everyone get that book, and we'll
Yeah.
do that book.
We'll link it in the
That
show
would be
notes.
awesome. Yes,
It would be
we
fun.
should. So anyway, so that's like all of my experience and everything I've learned like along the way. Those are a lot of the things that I share, and you know, I'm just speaking from my own personal experience. You know, I don't, of course, have a degree to teach any of this stuff or whatever, but like all we can do in this podcast is speak about like what we have been through personally and what has helped us along our journey. And
Share our consciousness.
right,
Right?
consciousnesses, yes.
Yes. What were you saying? Like, one of the steps to take to, like, evolve
Yes.
more was to take in other people's consciousnesses.
Yes.
So
Yes.
that's kind of what we're trying to do, is like share ours. Even though I don't
Right.
feel
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I don't feel like I have like a lot of knowledge. I just
No.
am speaking from like my own personal experience.
Right, and we're still learning. That's the thing that's so beautiful about it, is you always are learning. You never get to a place where you are fully enlightened. I mean,
Yeah.
I guess maybe you could, but no
We're-
one's made it.
yeah,
'Cause
we're there.
that's, yeah.
I don't think we're coming from a place of like, we know, like everything.
Yeah.
We're like,
Everyone listen to us. We know. all about this,
it's not
you
even
know?
like advice necessarily, right? This is
No.
more just like us talking with each other and just sharing like the experiences that we've like grown from, so that life doesn't have to be so hard for everyone else. Like,
And what's
these
helped
are
us.
things that have been helpful for us, and this is like the topic that we find interesting that you can't really talk about with everyone else, and that's like the whole reason why we started the
We're
podcast.
doing this,
Yeah.
right?
Thank God we're doing it in our 20s, guys.
I know,
Like,
right?
Seriously.
For real. Yeah, I really just wanted to let everyone know that, so that, I don't know, people don't start to be like...
Don't sue us.
Yeah, right. And I don't want people to think that we're just trying to give advice and
That
like
we're like
and that we have it all figured out, because we don't, and we're
But even
still
if they do,
learning.
like, it's fine.
Yeah, it is fine,
Mm-hmm.
but I just want to speak that we're not psychologists. None of us have degrees in any of this. This is just speaking from our own personal experience, and yeah. It feels really good to sit here and talk with people who are all on the same journey of becoming aware and more conscious and healing your traumas, because that's what it's all about. And all of us have trauma, all of us have pain, trapped emotions, all of us have all these things because we're human, and this is the human experience.
Yeah.
And I think that's just kind of what we want to speak to, is our own personal experience, and yeah, with living in the question.
Wait,
Living in the question. Say it all seductively.
Throw out a sexy leg.
There you go.
Twerk like we were trying to before.
Yeah, there you go. I love it. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Get it.
I'm having a feeling that we should pull a card for the collective. I just got a little hit. So
Can we
are
like,
going to
pause it?
Yes, we're gonna pause it while I shuffle, and then we'll pull the card, and then we'll come back and we'll read you what we pulled. We're gonna pull it with the intention for the collective, so I will go grab them now. Okay, we pulled 2 cards. The very first one that we pulled, well, let me tell you what this deck is actually. So it's an oracle deck. It's called the Mystical Shaman Oracle Guidebook. And this is just honestly one of my favorite decks. Like, it's so powerful. I always pull the most powerful cards, and the messages are just so beautiful. So I guess I'll read the Time Master, and then the other one we pulled, Elena can read. Okay, so time is a construct of the human mind through which life events are seen to flow in a straight line from past to future. This, however, is an illusion. Time moves in patterns, fractals, sometimes turning like a wheel, and others moving straight as an arrow. Humans see time like a ticking clock, and this image reminds us that there is only so much of it to spend in a life, like a currency. At any given moment, you can see time in all its infinite potential, at once vast and all-encompassing, then shrunken and finite. It all depends on perspective. And then there's a little section, depending on if you pull it upright or down, you read a different one. So I pulled it upright, so it's the invitation. When the Time Master visits you, he asks the most important question. Will you break free from limited cause and effect thinking by moving beyond the linear illusion and welcoming the cyclic quality of time? You find yourself in a moment when the wheel of time turns, and you're able to influence the past, thus changing the present and future simultaneously. This is the true test of the Time Master. You're being invited to take back your power. So let go of the past and choose to step into your life. In this moment, you are all-powerful. You are the Time Master, and anything is possible now. That is really beautiful.
Kind of makes me want to cry, but I don't know if it's just because I'm so exhausted.
Could be. Hey, could be, or it could not be. Look
Yeah.
at that.
Could be both. Tired, or 'cause
But
it's so
I
powerful.
struggle a lot with time.
Yeah.
Seriously, and I try not to come from like a scarcity mindset of time, but it's really hard.
Yeah, it is really hard.
I've had that thought like multiple times today. There's just not enough time in the day.
Mhm.
Like, there's so many things I want to do and get done, and I
Yeah.
just can't. Like, I can't do them all.
Yeah, it's like I know that time isn't real, right? Like it is just an illusion, but then it's like here I am, like in this moment where it is real.
Obsessing over it.
You're in this time right now.
Yes, like how do you escape from that? Or not escape,
Yeah.
but
I guess you just try to be in
set
the present
into
moment.
it, be present, be happy with every single thing you're doing instead of trying to be somewhere else.
Yeah.
Right?
Or not be happy.
Seeing,
If you're not.
Yes.
guys,
I guess-
seeing the beauty in everything.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's like being grateful for every moment.
Right. Right.
Guys, there is I sent it to you. There is a snip on the Almost 30 podcast of, they did a full episode with this guy. I don't know his exact name, but then they made another episode and just did a little 20-minute snip of what he was saying. And he was talking about how throughout his life he had been told so many times and was all spiritual and everything that like love is the way, love is the answer to everything. And then he was just like, this isn't working for me, like I want more answers. And then he had someone from his past like reach out to him and say, I have a message for you. So he goes and meets this guy in Park City, Utah, and stays with this guy for the weekend. And this guy hasn't given him the message the whole weekend. And then right before he's about to like leave, this guy tells him, he says, I was just here to tell you that it's not love that is the answer to everything. It's being able to see the beauty in everything. That's what love is. And that changed my life. I
Just
was
gave me the
like,
chills.
wow, because I feel like I'm always the type of person that's like the weirdo that's like, guys, look at the mountains. Like, are you
Yeah.
lost? Like, I'm always lost in
Yeah.
nature. Like, I'm always lost in it, and it just like takes my breath away. And I just, or my kids, like, I'll just see my kids and just look at them and like get lost in it. And I'm like, holy shit, when he said that, I was like, that right there is the purpose of life.
Yes.
Like, just seeing the beauty in any minute. Like, just being here with you guys. Like,
Yeah.
we're so lucky.
Yeah.
Like, we're three badasses here,
Yeah.
freaking killing it.
Hell
you know,
yeah.
just like being ourselves and trying to spread the word.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and just being able to see the beauty in each other and in
Yeah.
ourselves. It's just so good.
And what card did you just pull? Beauty Way.
Oh my god! That didn't even freaking like what?
The whole time you were
gosh.
talking, I was like, whoa,
You're like
whoa,
staring
whoa.
at the car.
Synchronicity.
Holy shit! I knew
Yeah.
that was it, but that hadn't like what
It
I
didn't
just said
click.
had no wow.
Nothing to do with that card.
That right there, you guys.
There
Like
you
that
go.
tells you that we're right in line because my card is number 4 and it says Beauty Way. And it's a beautiful flower all opened up with a dragonfly above it, and it looks like the sun and some foliage.
I didn't explain my card. Oh well.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so
read the essence, the top one, and then the invitation.
the essence. The Beauty Way is both a path that you travel on and a daily practice.
Gosh.
Damn.
Okay.
The path is where you choose to perceive only beauty before you, behind you, and all around you as a journey through life.
Okay, well,
Talking about time.
Shit, you guys.
I'm so glad everyone is experiencing
That
this
is so
synchronicity.
funny.
Okay, the weird thing about this is when Sadie pulled the deck out, this card was on top, and I was like, give me that card.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, I just needed
You felt it.
Like, and
Yeah.
weird, okay?
Okay.
The practice is where you take action to bring beauty to every situation you are in. When things get ugly, you act to bring integrity and peace to the difficult encounter. When everyone else perceives only darkness, you point out the light and help uncover the hidden treasures. The invitation. The Beauty Way invites you to create beauty in your life and to recognize the beauty inside yourself and in others. Stop to smell the roses, take a deep breath, look up at the stars, and recognize the splendor that surrounds you. When you see beauty in whatever situation you find yourself in, you will receive the lesson that life is teaching you in a kind and gentle way. Sorry, I kind of like lost track there.
No, you're good. I'm tearing up.
Okay, wait. See the
This is so
beauty in whatever
beautiful.
situation you find yourself in, and you will receive the lesson that life is teaching you in a kind and gentle way.
That's so true.
Oh,
Guys, like
Yeah.
the fact that that just happened. Okay, guys, this is another thing. When you start like getting into healing and awareness and all of it, what just happened to us is called a synchronicity, and it just is one of those things that two things connect and you can't make sense of how or why they connect, but they just happen to. Like the spiel I just went on about the Almost 30 podcast and the beauty and da-da-da-da-da, and then all of a sudden this card is like what I pulled. Like
exactly.
what?
Yeah.
And it's a feeling that you get in your body where it literally feels like you just got smacked. Like it's like, what the fuck? You
Because
know?
you can't explain it.
You can't
Like,
explain it.
That is like out of all the cards in that deck,
Yeah.
and that's the one. And I just
that
saw it, and I was like, I need that.
funny. And you literally said all of that.
Like,
what the
before.
card.
You guys.
Yeah, she really did, right?
She did.
Almost
Yeah.
exactly like word
To
for
a
word.
T.
Yeah.
Okay, the medicine. Stop trying to fix relationships that you believe are broken. Recognize that things are exactly as they need to be in this moment and acknowledge the inherent beauty in that. When you understand this, you'll be able to bring about the change you want. Do not engage in gossip about the darkness and flaws of others. Be careful not to be seduced by the superficial beauty of a project or relationship you are toying with unless you are willing to pay price for it later. I needed to hear all of that.
Yeah. That was a beautiful card pull. I'm so glad we did that.
Wow.
See, and me even just having the feeling that, oh, we should pull a card right now, and then look what just happened. Like, it's all synchronistic, and it's all beautiful.
Yeah.
Damn, guys, on that note, I love you both.
Yeah.
And
We love all of you. Thank you for listening, and we hope you tune in next week. Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye, guys.